have a problem. We have a problem, fellas. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the comments if you guys can hear me. Before I start the show. Everything check. You guys know I'm dusting off all of the I don't have music on it. So I want the music. You guys can hear me. Put a number one in the chat. If you cannot hear me, put a number two. I'm going in and out. How am I going in and out? You guys hear me completely or very loud? Okay, let me see. Can you guys hear me better now? Okay, let's do this. If you guys can't hear me, put a number one in the chat. If you cannot hear me, put a number two. If I'm going in and out, put a number three in the chat. Oh, wait, I see Jose already put a number one. Jose, can you hear me in and out or you can hear me like completely? I don't want to turn off the music. MK is very bossy. I'll turn off the music, boss. Don't worry. Okay, music off. Alrighty, guys. Here I am. So far, I think you guys can hear me. Okay, Mulatto Vanguard already said that he can hear me as well. Well, guys, let me. Oh, I'm in and out still. If I'm still in and out, put a number three in the chat. Oh, Lord, I'm more rusty than I thought. Hey, Morena, ¿cómo estás, mi amor? Feliz año nuevo. Bendiciones. Que este año traiga muchas cosas buenas, entre ellas que podamos comer sin engordar. Can you guys hear me better now? Hey, Herbie. I see a lot of people are coming in the chat. I want to give a huge shout out to all of the Latin splainers that subscribe in my hiatus. You guys know that I used to be more present here until two major life events. My mom's diagnosed and then I had my child. And, I've been in mommy land enjoying myself. I'm not going to lie. It's been ups and down, ups and down. Today, I'm going to do a soft comeback because it's election year and I want to do certain things. Plus, I have other stuff cooking in the background, and I mean it like seriously cooking. So to be honest, you guys are gonna love what I'm going to do. But anyway, in the past several months, I've been, here and there on certain streams because, like I said, I've been taking care of my son. I'm living that stay-at-home mama life, and now my baby boy is 1 year old. So it's been a blessing. It's been everything. And it went by. Okay, a lot of people say it goes by fast. I'm not gonna lie. It went by very slow. But now that I look back, I feel as if it went by really fast because I still remember giving birth to this child as if it was yesterday. Kid you not. It went by like really fast. Yes, Morena. He's already a year. He's already throwing tantrums. He has a personality. He's taking his steps. Whew, he slaps. He bites. That kid is something else. But anyway, today's topic. Today, before I start everything, I want to say this is not a hate stream. I don't think I've ever made a stream aside from that stream reacting to what was it, Mr. C. I've never made a stream actually reacting like this to a video step by step. So I think this is my second video that I'm doing of that same matter. But I will say that Radical Latino is still my friend. I have nothing but love for Radical Latino. I just think that he probably had too much what is it the name, Morena? Mama Juana. I think he had too much Mama Juana or too much aguardiente on this Christmas break and missed the mark a little bit with the last video that he uploaded. Hey, Rad, he had too much Mama Juana, and and he made that video coming down from the Mama Juana trip that he had. So I'm here to dissect it. We're gonna hear the whole video because I'm not gonna keep stopping. I might stop if I feel like I have to insert a commentary, but for the most part, we're gonna listen to it. Yeah, you have Coquito Aspirado, expired Coquito, Radical, because that was that, man. But without any further ado, like I said, we're going to listen to Radical Latino's video yesterday, and we're going to come back. I'm going to come back with my commentary because there's certain things that Rad, come on, man. Hey, come on, Rad. Anyway, I'm good. Let's listen to Radical's the Radical's video. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's just as you guys know, I'm very rusty when it comes to this because I've been out for a while. So, okay. So we're gonna share this and we're gonna listen to what Rad had to say yesterday. Let's go.
Yo, what up, my people? Welcome back to another video with your boy Radical. Now, today, right, I'm gonna be kind of reacting to one of O'Shea Duke Jackson's video where he pretty much breaks down this Puerto Rican shorty that's on I think Kendra's G's singles live event or whatever the case is. Apparently there's this YouTuber that she gets a bunch of singles and tries to match them up or whatever the case is, right? And the reason why he made a video about it is because there was a Latina, a Puerto Rican girl, that said that she only dates black men, and I think he found it interesting. He also said a couple of things that I'm gonna basically say towards the end, and we're gonna like compare and contrast, and then you're gonna get. But let's watch the video first, and then I'm gonna give my reaction towards it first, and then we'll discuss it, whatever the case is. Without further ado, here we go.
There's a lady that comes on to her show, and we all know that Kendra G has a dating show. It's online. It's pretty much open to the entire world. But in this case, we do the African American community looking for other blacks to date. But from time to time, we will see somebody that's non-black. And in this case, she has a young lady coming on by the name of Kimberly. Let's get to know her for a little bit, and we'll come back.
Hi, how are
Kimberly?
you? Yes.
Okay, Kimberly, where you calling me from, boo?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Jacksonville, Florida. How old are you?
I am 37.
37. What you do for a living?
I'm a grievance and appeals representative for an insurance company.
You're a grievance and appeals?
Yes, representative for an insurance company, which my coworkers are on right now too.
They're watching?
They're watching.
Now I'm gonna stop this real quick because I don't want to get a copyright strike. Right? I'm not gonna air the O'Shea or Kendra G. I'm just gonna let you guys take a very close look to the lady named Kimberly Ortiz here on this video. Basically, what she says, for the people that don't know this, what she basically says is that she's looking for a man. She's a woman that's never been married. She has 2 children. She's 37 years old. She lives in Jacksonville, Florida, and her preference is for dating is black men. It is unknown if her 2 children are the product of relationships with either Puerto Rican men or black men, African American men. So we don't know that. That's an ex. We actually don't know. She doesn't say on the video, but she says that her preference is to date is black men. She also states towards the end that she it has a companion that fits her category. So I'm assuming it's a black man. And she said he's a good companion. It's just there's certain things that he's missing in order for be an option for a long-term relationship. But he's good company. So she's basically messing with this guy. Most likely she'll end up with him. I'm just gonna put that out there. But I just want to get Radical's reactions. I'm gonna scroll through aggressively through the video. Okay, so that starts his reaction around here. Let's see.
Women are, you know what I'm saying? That's when it becomes like a little bit crazy. You feel me? And when
Hold on.
it gets
This is live. You guys know that this is live. Let me just okay.
let me just say something real quick. First of all, there's nothing wrong with having a preference. You know, it is what it is. If you only like dating white women, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If you're from another race, you only like dating white women, who cares? It is what it is. If you only like dating Asian women, it is what it is. We should not be out here, you know, demanding what you should be dating, what you shouldn't be dating. You know, it is what it is. Who really cares? The only thing is when it gets a little bit of an issue, not with me, but I'm just saying it just gets a little bit of an issue is when the preference is an excuse for hatred, meaning, well, I only date so and so because my women are, you know what I'm saying? That's when it becomes like a little bit crazy.
Okay, this is rad. This was cringe. I'm just gonna say something. For you to have a preference, let's just look at what preference means. I took the time to look at the preference definition before. This is for you to have a preference, there has to be something you don't like, right? I don't know if you guys follow me on this, but in order for you to have a preference, there has to be something you don't like. And preference is a noun and it says a greater liking for one alternative over another or others. For example, he shows a clock in preference to a watch. So it's not hatred if you say, I want to date Asian men because they are more quiet or because they have beautiful silky hair over African men from Senegal. That is not hatred for Senegalese men. That is actually establishing why you prefer something. So this lady is explaining she prefers to date black men as an African American man, not the race, but the culture or the community, because Puerto Rican men specifically are too controlling. That's basically what she said in the video. So I don't see a problem. I don't see her as hating, because hating will be, I hate Puerto Rican men. I hate Latino men. I hate what they do. I hate Spanish. I hate their culture. That's more down. Right, you had your slow tip moment. I'm sorry, but that would be more like a hatred type of thing. So let's continue to listen to rap.
Crazy. You feel me? And when it gets into that territory, that's when a lot of things could get misconstrued and a lot of people start getting offended, blah, 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 blah. Now, this is my take on this whole thing. First of all, shorties into black guys, it is what it is. Who really cares? Now, you guys heard that she already had 2 kids previously, right? Now, I don't know if of the 2 kids previously that she had, it probably what is with a black guy, since that's what her preference is. More power to her, great. But it kind of says something either about her. For example, not all. Let me just say,
This is one thing I would say. I think Rat might have been correct. If you have had two children by two different men and you didn't stay with neither, then there's something internal in you that needs to be fixed. I'm gonna put that out there. I agree with him 100% on this. There is something wrong with her. Otherwise, she wouldn't be on a dating show. If And I would put that out there for anybody. If you're out here and you've been actively on the market or actively seeking and you have not been able to find nobody in a significant time, significant being 6 months to a year, then you need to go back to the board and start fixing things, because there is something in you, not outside, not in the market, it's not people, it's not whatever. If there's something in you that you need to fix in order to attract the people that you want and keep them. So let's continue.
for Latinos, usually for Latino, especially men, if we get a shorty pregnant, the next thing our family wants to do is, yo, y'all gotta get married. You know what I'm saying? This is how our culture pretty much goes. Once we get someone, pregnant tone, it's over. You gotta get married toned. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much for the most part. Not all cases. Obviously, the single mother rate in the Latin community is pretty high. I'm not gonna say that we're like all perfect and shit. You know what I'm saying? But usually that's how it goes. Now, the thing is that maybe there's something wrong with this chick, that black men aren't really committing to her. You know what I'm saying? That's why she's staying single. And she's keeping single because let's be honest. Women, they control sexual access. Men, we control relationships and giving a ring and giving our last name up. Once we give our last name up, once we give that ring and once we make that commitment, it's over. That's it. This is set for life. You know what I'm saying? And if a man, let's be honest, fellas, let's be very, very honest. We know when we have a good woman and we don't. We know if that girl that we're dealing with is just a one-time thing, or a seasonal thing, or a lifetime thing. You know what I'm saying? We already know she's going to be here for a season, because we kind of do it pretty quick. You know what I'm saying? And usually women disqualify themselves from the long time thing for whatever reason that they do. We got little rules or whatever, but we don't really let these women know. We pretty much put it in our heads, okay, she just went from the girlfriend category to just a jump off. We pretty much do that. You know what I'm saying? All men do that. Come on. Now, there's something either wrong with this girl that these men didn't want to commit. Now, guess what? This is not the first time I've heard Latinas, not Puerto Rican women, but especially Latinas, and this is usually Americanized Latinas, not Latinas from our homeland or whatever the case is. Usually Latinos from our homeland are looking for the Latinos or whatever the case is. If they're really on that finesse shit, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be looking for, the passport bros, and gonna try to finesse them for a green card. You know what I mean? But anyway, it's neither here nor there. But the thing is that this is not the first time I heard this before. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of Latinas out there that say, yo, I don't like my own men because we're too controlling. We're too machista. We're too this and that. Now, let me just say, as a Latino, yes, I do have the tendency sometimes that I be coming off. You know what I'm saying? I be coming off as like you know what I mean? I be coming off like that. And sometimes I gotta check myself, but sometimes that's what you have to do to be laying down the law. You feel me? But now what she's saying, basically, pretty much in other words, what she's saying is, I can't get away with most of the stuff that I want to get away with, but black men let me get away with it. Now it's a double thing. Is she being disrespectful when she's saying that? Or is she saying that black men are pretty much easygoing and they don't really hound me that much?
Now, this is when Radical started turning streams, like this small video started getting a little cringe, right? Is the fact that, hey, Hero Apocalypse, this is when it started getting somewhat cringe, because he's basically implying that this woman, or woman in particular, like, you seek out whatever outside of Latino men, not because Latinos are controlling, but because other races, in this case black men, let you get away with stuff. Rad, bro, I love you, you're like a brother to me. You come on, man. You're New York. You're New York. You look, if you're Latino and you come at me, and I've been saying this since 2020, and I've been in these platforms. If you come to me and you try to sell me the idea that one of the major flaws that Latino men have is not abuse, control, and violence, you are out of your mind, and I will call a 5150 on you, because you're outside of reality. Latino men are notoriously known for their abusive, violent tactics and controlling tactics towards women. No other group in the West kills more women based on the overpowering feeling than Latino men. That is a stain in our culture. Yes, it is. But the problem is that because we always want to negate this, the problem doesn't get fixed. That is something that we have to admit. We got to take that L, and it's better if we take that L in silence and work through it. We have a lot of problems with men being violent. Every year, 4,000 Latinas get killed by Latin men. And if it's basically, let's say, for example, that I say, I'm going to kill, let's say I'm Terminix, and I get called every year. Hey, in 2019, I got called 2,000 times to kill a massive amount of crickets in Oklahoma City. And then in 2020, I got 2,000 more calls to kill crickets in Oklahoma City. And every year, I get 2,000 phone calls to kill crickets in Oklahoma City. Can I admit that there is an infestation of crickets in Oklahoma City? Absolutely. So if we have consistently 4,000 Latinas killed year after year after year after year after year after year after year, more than any other group in the West, because I'm not saying with this, because it always there's going to be some what about this. Oh, but black men kill women. Oh, but white men kill women. Yes, every group of men kills women. Every group of men kills women. I'm talking about the rate. I'm talking about the fact that the deadliest spots for women in the West is not in the United States, black or white, not even Native American, which if you look at the stats, Native American women are the most killed women in this country. So again, there's a lot of misconstruing that you have to do here. And like I said, are there exceptions to this? Absolutely. Are there good Latin men? Absolutely. Are there good husbands that are protectors and are good to their women? 1,000%. But if we have a constant problem that has transcended decades in our community, it is safe to say that the abusers are not going to get women. And we know for a fact there's more women than men in Latin America and in the world. So if there's a large population of males that are controlling and abusive and aggressive and use violence to coerce women into what they want to do, and you have these groups of chicks that are looking to mate and they cannot mate anybody else because the good Latin men already married, where these Latinas are supposed to go harvest a husband? I want to put that question out there. That is so. No, I know Blood Moon. Blood Moon says Latin America has close to 1 billion people. Compare the numbers of Black men in the US doing this to the Latinos who actually do this. Blood Moon, I understand that. But the problem is that if you look at per capita, which is per 100,000 women, Black men kill 2.6 Black women per capita. And in Latin America, it gets 6 per capita. That means that we triple the number per capita in Latin America. I'm not making this up. I can easily, you guys know I always bring the receipts. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on. You know me by now. I want to go on a press release before I continue with this. I want to go on a press release and I want answers to that question. I want answers to that question specifically because I'm going to focus more on the Puerto Rican aspect of things because, of course, she talked about Puerto Rican men, but we're going to go. I'm going to stop with rap for a second. And I'm going to share with you guys that doesn't come from me. I'm not the one making these numbers. You guys, I know I don't doctor stuff. If you guys can see on the screen, it says this is the ECLAC. This is not me. This is the Latin America and Caribbean Commission from the United Nations. And they say in 2022, at least 4,050 women were victims of femicide in Latin America and the Caribbean, says ECLAC, the commission. And it says, I'm going to go down. You see that they are reuniting here, right? All this bunch of Latinos and Caribbean people. It says, in 2022, at least 4,050 women were victims of femicide, also known as feminicide, in 26 countries and territories of Latin America and the Caribbean, according to the latest data that official agencies reported to the Gender Equality Observatory for Latin America and the Caribbean of the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, also known as ECLAC. This is equivalent to one gender-related killing of a woman every 2 hours in the region. Now, I want to go down to this specific paragraph because I want you guys to understand. It says, of the 19 countries and territories in Latin America, we're not touching the Caribbean because the Caribbean is a different thing, but it says on the 19 countries and territories in Latin America that reported the number of femicides or gender-related killings of women in 2022, the highest rates were seen in Honduras, 6 per capita, the Dominican Republic, 2.9. That's already higher than Black men because Black men kill 2.6 per capita. It was 2.9. El Salvador and Uruguay, 1.6. The lowest rates, meaning less than 1 victim per capita, were observed in Puerto Rico, which is 1 weekly, and Peru, Colombia, 0.8, Costa Rica, 0.7, Nicaragua, 0.5, Chile, 0.4, and Cuba, 0.3. And I want you guys to hear what Jose Manuel Salazar says. And he's the executive secretary of the ECLAC. And he says, We will not get tired of saying this. Latin America and the Caribbean has a duty to prevent and eliminate all forms of violence against women and girls. It is unacceptable that more than 4,000 women and girls are murdered each year in our countries on the basis of gender. Jose Manuel Salazar's ICLAC executive secretary said just before the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, blah, 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 blah. You can go and look it up yourself. So again, if I say today I have 4,000 this year, 4,000 women killed. And I have, well, let me just explain this. If we say, when I talk, and I like to talk about like stats and data and stuff like that, and we talk a lot about the Black community, and we talk about their Black on Black crime. Why can we say there's a problem with Black on Black crime? Because every year 5,000 Black men and women get killed because of their race amongst Black people. So is that a problem because it's prevalent? Has it become part of the Black culture? Unfortunately, it has. So if we have 4,000 cases every year, femicide and abuse against women in the Latin community has become part of our culture. We got to take the L. Like I said, we have to take the L. There's no other way around it. Take your L in silence and just keep it going. Now, I want to bring it back to Kimberly. You guys remember Kimberly Ortiz was the lady that was saying that Radical Latino was commenting on. And a lot of people will say that, oh, this lady just prefers because, like Radical said, because Black men maybe, let her get away with stuff. We love to say these things. And I know this firsthand because when I first started on this platform, I was criticized heavily because my husband's African American. And there was a lot of turmoil because, of course, that is frowned upon because you're not prepared. If I tell you, and let's say I'm your parent and I tell you my prefer or favorite daughter or son is your sibling, of course you're going to be salty. We all want to be preferred. If I tell American Airlines I prefer you over Delta, Delta is going to get salty if the public starts saying that because everybody wants to be the preferred choice. In her case, she prefers Black men over Latin. But you may ask yourself, is it because Latin men don't let her get away with stuff that Black men do? And this is when the problem starts because we make these assumptions time after time after time after time after time. And we don't realize that if we have a prevalent problem, which is why I'm bringing this whole violent situation in Latin America, and I'm going to bring in Puerto Rico in a second, right? If we have this prevalent problem, when we don't see it, and we don't see the victims of these problems at the hands of this rowdy, out of control, violent, and aggressive murder pigs in our group, when we don't see the victims of it on the receiving end, of course, it's easy to make the assessment that, oh, this woman just wants simps. This woman just want this. This woman just want that. But let's see who's Kimberly Ortiz. And I did some digging, and a Latin explainer shared this with me. My Latin explainer, my Agent 00 Latin Explain News, it's on top of everything. He's standing on business. Nothing escapes this Latin explainer. Meet Miss Kimberly Ortiz when she was 76 pounds heavier. The problem with Kimberly Ortiz is that she comes from a very traumatic experience, and that traumatic experience took place in 1999. And she says, I was the last person who probably saw her alive. She is the friend of a murdered 13-year-old. And it says over here for the people that are a little slow, so they can understand, right? Kimberly Ortiz, which is her name, remembers the day in February 1999, the last time she saw her friend, Minerly Soriano, a seventh grader from the Bronx, New York, whose body was found days later in a dumpster. Now, if you want to look into this case after this show ends, I'm going to tag several videos about this case, which is horrendously it's just sad because it went cold for 22 years. And it wasn't until 2022 that they actually captured her murder, the murder of Minner Lees, the 13-year-old chick. So the problem is, right? The person that killed her friend was no other than a Latino. It was Mr. Joseph Martinez. I'm going to bring it in a second so you guys can see it. And it was thanks to a semen sample that they found on this 13-year-old chick. Well, basically a baby, because 13 is not even a chick. I'm a chick. She's not. It says more details revealed after DNA leads to the arrest in 1999 cold case murder in the Bronx. Basically, Joseph Martinez, 49, was arraigned Tuesday. He was 27-year-old at the time of the crime. I want you to understand that Kimberly Ortiz had to see that her best friend was left here at 13 years old by a Latino in a Latino sector of the Bronx. So when we say all the time, oh, the numbers are small, oh, that doesn't matter, oh, these people are just looking for the way out. I just want to, I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not generalizing because I never do, but I want you to understand every time a crime is committed, there's going to be something triggering for that person. I don't know what that is for every person, right? But there is something going on that your own group triggers you. There was something that I think Dennis Sperling said like a while ago when he was talking to Black men, and he said that sometimes because you have your own internal issues with women in your own group, you probably need to go look for somebody else that doesn't. Many people, men and women. Sometimes your own group triggers you. Sometimes you had a fucked up mom and Latina women trigger you. Sometimes you have a fucked up mom and Black women trigger you because of that. And sometimes you have to watch a Latin man desecrate your friend at 13 years old and leave her on a dumpster. And that will throw you off of Latin men, because how do you trust Latin men after that? How can we ask her, oh no, forcefully, go and marry one of these guys? So that's why I said it's very crazy talk out here when we see these things, but we don't understand what's up. And I get it. There's a lot of people that when I brought up the whole Puerto Rican man situation, look, there is a crisis in Puerto Rico. There is a crisis in Puerto Rico. I know there's a crisis in Mexico. There's a crisis in Honduras. I mean, there's a crisis in a lot of places. Right now in Ecuador, there's a crisis. And it's spreading. But I'm going to focus on my own people. I'm going to focus on what I know. Because sometimes we talk too much about certain things that we lose focus of what we want to actually explain. But before I go to what I want to say about Puerto Rico, for the slow folks that want to continue with the denial, let's go to an impartial spot, right? That talks about feminicide, and that's Wikipedia, where you can find and edit whatever, right? And it says, Femicide or feminicide is a term for the hate crime of systematically killing women, girls, or females in general because of their gender and or sex. In 1976, the feminist author Diana E.H. Russell first defined the terms as the killing of females by males because they are female. Now, if we go down to the history and the development of the term or whatever, I don't want to focus on that because that's too much. But I want to focus on what the internet and the stats basically says that states that is actually, give me 1 second, that is actually happening when it comes to feminicide or femicide, however you want to walk, like you want to call it. So I want to go in the, you know, in the whole aspect of where our attention is supposed to go when it comes to women. And we're going to go to the world, right? Because we can't compare to like a tiny drop. There's only 50 million African Americans and I believe 63 million white Americans. So let's go to the world and see how we Latinos compare to the world when it comes to feminicide. And it says every year, an average of 66,000 women are violently killed globally, accounting for approximately 17% of all victims of intentional homicides. In 2017, 87,000 women and girls were killed globally. This means 238 women are killed daily. According to a 2000 report by the UN Population Fund, also known as UNFPA, approximately 5,000 women are murdered each year in honor killings. That's basically a Middle Eastern practice that if your daughter is acting in a manner that is going to bring dishonor to your family, you will kill her to restore the honor to the family. And it says the rates of femicide differ depending on the specific country. But of the countries with the top 25%, 25 highest femicide rates, that means that in the list of the world, we have the whole world on a list, all 100, I think it's 198 countries. The top 25 countries, out of that top 25, 50%, it says it right here, 50% are in Latin America, with number one being El Salvador. Also included in the top 25 are 7 European countries, 3 Asian countries, and 1 African country, South Africa. So that means that if we're taking the 25 highest femicide rates in the world, this is not the US versus Latinos anymore. That means that approximately 12.5 in that list are Latin countries. Are we gonna still pretend that we don't have a problem? Can we still pretend that we don't have a problem, people? Are we still going to pretend that we don't have a problem? We have a problem. And it's better for us to just admit it and fix it. Again, you can go online and look this information yourself. But now I want to go to Puerto Rico because that's where I'm from. That's what I know. I know what I grew up seeing. I know the culture. I know what festers. I'm going to see if I can have English subtitles on this. But I want you guys to pay close attention to basically these people are talking about. Because there was a debate. I'm gonna translate it myself because I think there's no. Oh yeah, there is. So let me just try to find the English subtitle because this is in Spanish, and of course you guys are not going to be able to listen to it. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna go to okay in 2020 there was Blood Moon says, Denise, women just need education. Men take advantage of women's ignorance and physical weakness. Nothing any of us can do. It is what it is. You know what? That is crazy, because there is a Puerto Rican media personality that came up with a solution, at least in Puerto Rico, because of the disgusting things we're seeing. 2 weeks ago, if you think that you know, you don't know. You don't, trust me, in Puerto Rico, if you're not there, you don't freaking know. If you don't follow the news, you don't freaking know. 2 weeks ago, we have to bury yet again a 1-year-old baby because her stepdad felt that he was entitled to have sex with her even when she passed away, because she passed away during the act and he continued. That's it. That's the stuff that we're seeing in Puerto Rico. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I've covered here many times, you know, the issues that are happening. But anyway, let's hear what in 2020, not today, we uncover a new layer of nastiness. I believe shortly after the pandemic ended, we uncovered a new layer of disgusting behavior, in which now we have 13-year-old girls getting pregnant by their fathers, getting pregnant by 29-year-olds and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a Puerto Rican blood moon. That was in Puerto Rico. All the stuff I'm talking about is in Puerto Rico. So, and by the way, Kimberly's friend is also, they migrated from Puerto Rico into the Bronx. You can look up, like I said, I'm gonna put her case video that was covered by another YouTuber in length. Once I finish the show, I'm gonna link it in the description so you guys can go and see why Kimberly came to that conclusion. So there was a governmental debate in 2020, and no, Blue Moon, Puerto Rico is not packed with migrants. Puerto Rico has Dominicans, and that's basically Latinos. So it's not like that. But anyway, let me continue. The governmental debate brings up this topic. Why? Because if you don't know, Puerto Rico is on its 3rd year of declaring a pink state of emergency, because basically our government does not know and does not have a plan, because they cannot contain the massive abuse that women in the island face. They have no plan, but they know that there's something that needs to be done, because I mean, it's getting out of control. So in the governmental debate, this came out, and the candidate, specifically the conservative one, was supposed to answer the question regarding this topic. I want you guys to listen in length. I tried to put the auto-generated English subtitles, but you guys know that sometimes these are automated things, so try to make the best out of it so you can understand or have an idea on what they're discussing. Pay close attention.
César Vázquez.
Let me know
En
if you
Puerto
guys can
Rico,
hear it.
cada 7 días una mujer es asesinada. Eso se conoce como feminicidio. Y las autoridades investigan otras muertes de la comunidad LGBTQ como posibles crímenes de odio. ¿Considera usted oportuno oponerse a la educación con perspectiva de género?
La premisa que utilizaste no es correcta. Cada 7 días estamos hablando de una cada 4 mujeres por mes. Estamos hablando de 48 mujeres
Let
al
me
año.
try
La
to
realidad es que en
rewind
Puerto
it so
Rico,
you guys
por la
can
violencia
see
doméstica, las
what
muertes
he is
han...
basically. I think you guys are gonna miss it.
Ramos del Vocero le pregunta a César Vázquez.
Can you guys
En Puerto
hear it?
Rico, cada 7 días una mujer es asesinada. Eso se conoce como feminicidio. Y las autoridades investigan otras muertes de la comunidad LGBTQ como posibles crímenes de odio. ¿Considera usted oportuno oponerse a la educación con perspectiva de género?
La premisa que utilizaste no es correcta. Cada 7 días estamos hablando de una cada 4 mujeres por mes. Estamos hablando de 48 mujeres al año. La realidad es que en Puerto Rico, por la violencia doméstica, las muertes han fluctuado entre 12, 13, hasta 30 mujeres al año. Una es demasiado. Pero el problema en Puerto Rico no es tanto una ideología, el problema en Puerto Rico es el manejo de los conflictos, el uso de la violencia para resolver los problemas en los conflictos. Importante, en los últimos 10 años aquí han muerto 7,000 hombres jóvenes y eso no es issue. Es issue cuando es una mujer o cuando es alguien de la comunidad LGBT.
He's
Parece
trying
que
to
algunas muertes
deny
son
the
importantes
issue
y otras no. Para Proyecto
or
Dignidad,
make it
todas las
less.
muertes son importantes.
La pregunta es, ¿considera oportuno oponerse a la educación con perspectiva de género?
En mi gobierno, de la misma manera que no vamos a imponer ninguna religión, tampoco vamos a permitir que se imponga una ideología que no responde a la realidad biológica del género humano. La vida depende del hombre y de la mujer. Y otra cosa es otra cosa.
Lugar, usted está...
Sí, la realidad es que el compañero lo que dice es hasta ofensivo. Las personas de las muertes que él habla, son personas que no murieron por su género. Aquí estamos hablando de que las pasadas 24 horas 2 mujeres fueron asesinadas por el hecho de ser mujeres. Aquí estamos hablando de que la perspectiva de género es la herramienta más poderosa para acabar con esa desigualdad y que nosotros por prejuicio, por no conocer adecuadamente unos conceptos y por tergiversarlos, estamos privando a las mujeres de la única herramienta que pueda salvarlos. Yo creo que eso tiene que estar en nuestros currículos escolares.
Okay.
La perspectiva de género es una ideología que plantea que no existe diferencia fundamental entre el hombre y la mujer, más allá de su biología, que no existe ningún comportamiento sexual normal y natural porque todos son aprendidos y que cada niño o cada niña tiene el derecho a crear su sexualidad sin ningún tipo de limitación. Eso no es ciencia, eso es ideología y estamos en contra de eso porque eso atenta con el derecho de los padres a criar a sus hijos de acuerdo a sus valores.
La perspectiva de género lo que dice es que usted, sus condiciones, sus oportunidades no están determinadas por los genitales con los que nace. La perspectiva de género lo que hace es que otras niñas que hoy nos están viendo sepan que ellas pueden llegar a ser gobernadoras, que ellas no tienen que conformarse con otros puestos, que ellas pueden aspirar a lo que quieran. Igual forma, los jóvenes, los niños que nos ven, que no hay tal cosa como cosas para nenas y cosas para nenes. Por eso es que vemos tanta desigualdad. Por eso es que el 70% de quienes hoy viven bajo el nivel de pobreza son precisamente mujeres.
La realidad es que
tengo que intervenir. Primero, Alexandra tiene razón. Este es un asunto de más alto nivel. Hace 2 años yo tuve que intervenir físicamente para que un hombre parara de agredir a una mujer en una playa en Vieques. La policía lo arrestó y le dieron pon al muelle y lo soltaron. Tuvieron que arrestarlo luego y el sistema judicial falló a favor del agresor. Eso soy yo, que soy una figura pública. Imagínense las mujeres que están viviendo esos ciclos de violencia solas, en donde se les está negando a los jóvenes la oportunidad de educarse, a tratar con la misma dignidad a la mujer como al hombre.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys had the opportunity already to listen to that, guys. If this is a topic for a debate, I don't have to tell you that this is a prevalent problem, right? I don't have to tell you. But in case you guys had that, question mark, I don't know what you guys want to call it, right? In my opinion, this is a culture in Puerto Rico that has festered for too long, and because of the denial, because of the acceptance, because it's so normal, and you're never supposed to go against what you're taught, and you're supposed to just stay quiet, sweep it under the rug. This is why this stuff happens. And like I said, I want you guys to go to, I'm going to show you guys. This is one radio personality in Puerto Rico again. I'm going to try to, I'm going to try to play this video for the most part. Basically, This is a couple. This is a couple that live in Oklahoma. Uh, Basically, the woman came back to Puerto Rico because they had an incident of violence over there. And unfortunately, he followed her to PR and killed her. And this is the response, it's partially the response from one of Puerto Rico's
Sé que vino detrás
media
de mí,
radio
obviamente
personality,
para que me
famous
protejas,
YouTuber,
pero claramente,
Molusco on his
claramente
show.
un papel no protege a nadie. Aquí hay una señora que habla en este reportaje que ella habla que los gobernantes tienen que hacer algo y yo siempre, y lo he pensado, yo creo que nosotros lo hemos hablado aquí entre nosotros. Yo creo que una solución rápida es que las mujeres realmente se tienen que defender ellas mismas, ¿eh? Mano, cosas tan radicales como que las mujeres tengan su propia pistola, su arma de fuego y que ellas mismas se puedan proteger y que el Estado las proteja porque tú no le puedes delegar al Estado realmente. Tú no le puedes delegar al Estado que te defienda porque no lo va a hacer. En Puerto Rico, número 1, no están los recursos. En Puerto Rico, número 2, esto no es prioridad. Aquí en Puerto Rico llevan toda esta semana noticias que yo he ignorado full, porque si hay algo que a mí me paso por mi fundillo, es la maldita política en este país, que no sirve para nada. Llevan 3 días discutiendo a ver quién ganó para ser presidente de un partido que es una basura, que no sirve para nada. Llevan 3 días discutiendo entre ellos y toda la vuelta. El país hecho pedazos. El país hecho pedazos, canto. Y aquí los medios lo que están cubriendo es la basura de quién es un maldito presidente para el Partido Popular. Un partido de porquería, de basura. Y el país cayéndose en canto. Entonces, ahí tú ves cuáles son las prioridades. Pues ninguna. Si tú estás claro, oye, nosotros cuántas noticias hemos cubierto aquí con Silvia Hernández Investiga, aquí hay Ali ha hablado infinidad de veces, Pamela ha hablado infinidad de veces, todos nosotros, la cantidad de mujeres que, oye, han muerto, nosotros hemos hablado de la situación aquí. Y cuando vamos a abrir el expediente, o jueces han dicho que no le van a dar la orden de protección.
Did you guys just heard what he just said?
El
He basically said that just like with Andrea Ruiz Costas, which is a case that I just got fed up and I discussed when I was just starting this show. Judges, you go to a judge to say this stuff and a judge shuts you down. Oh no, I don't think there's grounds for you to have a protective order. And in a week, you are dead. That is prevalent in Puerto Rico. That's the reality that women are living. So basically, you're in a violent turmoil, endless chamber there. That's what's happening to a lot of Puerto one or two women weekly, sometimes 3, getting killed at the hands of their spouse or their significant other simply because she wants out or because she don't want to take it. But let's hear what Molusco's solution is.
el esposo o quien sea, se la pasa por las nalgas y termina matándola. A las mujeres hay que armarlas. Tienen que coger clases y ¿sabes qué? Suena radical. Te tienes que defender. Si el tipo viene para encima de ti, tú le vas a pegar un tiro. Porque es tu vida versus la de él. Se acabó el abuso. Porque estos tipos no van a aprender con nada. Aquí, señores, aquí en este país, nadie te va a educar para que estas cosas no se hagan. Aquí en este país las cosas son radicales. ¿No quieres que te vayas por el paseo? Métele 500 de multa. Ahora nadie se va por el paseo. Porque aquí hay que clavarse a la gente. Aquí hay que clavarse a la gente. En Puerto Rico hay que clavarse a la gente todo el tiempo. Porque aquí nadie quiere hacer las cosas bien. Aquí siempre quieren hacer lo que les sale de los cojones. Todo el tiempo. Es la verdad. Una mujer va a coger una pistola. Te vas a entrenar legalmente. Protegida por el Estado. Porque eso es lo que el Estado puede hacer ahora mismo. Un tipo viene donde ti, te sientes insegura, el tipo te está amenazando, viene de manera, le pegas un tiro, lo dejas pegado a él versus tú. Es la vida tuya versus la de él. Porque ya hay precedentes, corillo, de que estos tipos son unas basuras, unos sucios. Y son tan cobardes que se terminan quitando la vida a ellos.
I think you guys get the idea of what I'm talking about. So I want you guys, now that you have more context, I want you guys to go with me back to Radical Latino's video. And like I said, nothing against Radical. Radical is my friend, my brother, have been my co-host and whatever. But like I said, he had too much, unfortunately, historical people, and that's why he made this video. But let's continue what he has to say.
Because they're too controlling or whatever. I like dating X, Y, and Z. It could be whoever, right? It's not that much of a compliment. It's pretty much like, okay, shorty, what are you doing that Latinos are be like, yo, hold up, I'm not with this. You feel me? We laying down the law. You know what I'm saying? So what is? It's not a thing to brag about. You know what I'm saying? Because when they're like, "Ooh, you like black men? Oh shit! Why you don't date your own kind? Why? What they do? You controlling? That's nothing to brag about. They're saying something right there because usually those women, they want to get away with shit that we from our own community ain't gonna tolerate. You know what I'm saying? Either OnlyFans, she's putting too many explicit photos on her Instagram, or she hasn't gotten away from the whole face. It could be different things. You know what I'm saying? It could be really different. It could be different things. Now, this is also another thing. Usually, when I do see, and I know a lot of couples, me personally, that are Latinos with black women or white women, and Latinas with black men or white men. I know a lot of couples, and I'm actually meeting them a lot more now, especially in New York. And it's actually kind of very interesting. This interracial dating or marriage is actually pretty big. I didn't even know nothing about it. It's actually pretty big in New York and some of the places that I'm frequently attending now. But the things that I'm noticing is when a Latino is in a interracial relationship with a black or white woman, that Latino has the pants and he's holding shit down. And guess what? The white women and the black women are very cool being submissive. But this is the catch-22. I see the exact same thing when a Latina is with a white man or with a black man. The Latina is usually running shit. She's usually holding putting the pants up, and she's not submissive. She's pretty much
If this wasn't cringe, this was cringe. Rad, you gotta read the label of the stuff you put in your mouth. Pause, as in food. Because this is way off. I highly doubt that interracial couples behave this way, because do you really want me to believe that Vanessa Bryant was the one running and calling the shots with Kobe Bryant? I don't know. That sounds sketchy. Like I said, this is giving salty, Rad. This video and this take is just giving salty. Is giving, not you, because I know this is probably not. I don't know if this is your take, but this is a bitch ass take. And but that's just how it looks. So if you and I want, when I hear Latinos say this type of stuff, because it usually came from slow taps, I want answers. If we have a prevalent sector of men in our group that are abusive, violent, useless, addicted, convicted, formerly convicted, and are not husbands, are alcoholic or whatever the hell, where does the women that are left after the good Latin men married very early, where are these girls are supposed to go? And we're talking 23 and up. Where are they supposed to go? Are they supposed to be your side chicks? Are we gonna do 17 wives and one Latin man? Like, how are things are supposed to translate? And then how are we gonna force these girls to marry men? Because in the case that Molusco, there was a little girl that was there at the scene when her dad shot her mom in front of her. She was 3 years old. So do you really think that she's gonna be in the market for a Puerto Rican husband? I just want people to look at those things when they say these comments, because like I said, I didn't marry a black man in America because of trauma, but I had some elder men in my family that advised me against marrying my kind. And I never wanted to put that out there because I don't like to shit on the good Puerto Rican men. I know several. But I've had elders that have advised me against that. And any Latino. Don't bring me a Latino here because I don't know if your life is at risk. They said that explicitly to me and I had to listen. So again, how are we going to take care of your Latina sisters that there's not enough supply in the market for them that are men of stature? There's not enough Latin men of stature for the rest of the Latinas that didn't run fast enough at 19, 16, 21, and 22 to marry the actual husbands in the Latin community. Where are they going to go? Because they'll be 30 years old soon. Where are they going to go before they're 30? They gotta go somewhere. So again, where are they going to go? I want that answer. When I hear, yeah, right, O'Shea says that because that exists. We do have women that target black men. In Kimberly's case, that's not the case though. And it was irresponsible from O'Shea. It was irresponsible from you. Do your due diligence. How I had that Latin explainer bring it up in less than a day. Do your due diligence. We have an equalizer in our hands, our phone. Like I said, we cannot generalize these things because it's not necessarily true. If that was the case, then that doesn't, I find it funny from O'Shea. I should have tagged O'Shea here too, because if that's the case, and we're talking about Passport Bros, which is what his platform festers on, right? I have one question for O'Shea and anybody that thinks that way. If that is the case, how is it that you find available, submissive, feminine, thin, and childless women in Africa, Asia, Latin America, and some other parts of Eastern Europe? Shouldn't they be married to the strong men of their community? Or is it that there is a sector in every one of those groups where women cannot go there if they want a healthy family, so they have to replace what would have been a man from their culture with a passport bro or a white passport bro? Could that be the case? I look at Ron. It's like, my wife said the same thing about motherland Latino, so I know you're not wrong. Exactly. I am so sorry, but if you're Latino, men or women, and you come from Latin America, you've seen this shit. You've seen this shit. Ramon, hey Ramon, what's up? Ramon said, Denise, Vanessa Bryan is a bad example. Her mother was dangling a statutory grape accusation over his head since he got with Vanessa when she was in a high school senior. Yeah, but Ramon, what I'm talking about is Vanessa, when Kobe passed away, and you can look this up. I'm not making this up again. I'm not gonna pull out the receipt because it's too many. When Kobe Bryant passed away, what was the first thing that Vanessa did to her mom? I'm going to sell the mansion that Kobe bought for you, and you're going to live in a very small spot that's way cheaper and below what you were accustomed to by Kobe. Vanessa was not rocking with her mom like you think she was. So she was not running shit. If, like I said, if you think that Vanessa Bryan and every woman that has married a brother that's from another culture is the one running shit, let me tell you something. You got to go check your sensitivity. Like I said, it's given, I'm not saying personally, but that statement gives bitch vibes, salty vibes. It's the same thing when a black girl says, I want a Latino man. Black brothers should not feel some type of way because otherwise it gives bitch and it gives salty vibes. She just prefers that because what? There's a lot of drug addicted, gang related, and problematic and mentally ill Black men in her community. She has to go to another community to harvest a husband. That is a fact. That is a fact, and that doesn't mean, oh, then if she likes a Latin brother, then that Latin brother lets her get away with shit that Black men don't. That don't make sense. That don't make sense. No sense. Rad says, but remember, she said Latino men are controlling, not abusive. Rad, control over another human being is abuse. Like, so you're reaching video on the way. I'm so hurt. I'm gonna share the link. I'm not gonna be here for a very long time, but I'm gonna share the link for the sake of me not being here. In the past, year or so. I'm gonna share the link. You guys can come up. So, like I said, there is a control issue. If you want to sweep it under the rug, again, go to Wikipedia, type femicide, look for the first 25 countries, and tell me how half of those countries are Latino. And that's not something that I make up. That is not something that I wrote. I don't own Wikipedia. I don't run the ECLAC. I don't own none of these media outlets. I'm just a simple stay-at-home mom, just looking up stuff on the internet. That's what pops up. Like I said, guys, we have an infestation of abusive Latin men. You can kick, scream, punch the air, but it's gonna get worse and worse and worse and worse until one day we just get fed up and we say, hey, we got to do something about it. As a matter of fact, since we're so triggered by it, let's look at the 2030 ECLAC agenda, which is providing safe haven, housing, and funds to the children left behind, those women that were killed by their partners. That is part of the 2030 ECLAC agenda. You can look it up yourself. So again, if you don't want to be genuine about this issue, we don't need to have the conversation. We gotta be genuine. We gotta be genuine. Now I see that Jose and Don Armando are up here. So again, you guys know the rules. I'm not responsible for anything said here by the guests. And for the people that are changuitos and sensitive, guys, come on, we're old. I'm middle-aged. Jose is at the sunset of his age. And Don Armando is a little past middle age. So again, welcome to the show, Jose. How are you doing?
Well, first of all, it's so glad to see you back in these YouTube streets, Denise. You've been sorely missed. Now, I'm going to try to keep this as short and sweet to the point, but you give me so much to unpack. Okay. First of all, as you clearly illustrated, We don't know what happened in this lady's past to lead her to make the decision that she made. Number one. Number two, we don't know the biological father for these two boys. I mean, they could be Latino or black or whatever. So we're leading more than what it is. Okay. Number three, you do have to make a distinction slightly between Puerto Ricans that were born on the mainland compared to Puerto Ricans born in the island, because there is differences, cultural differences, and things of that nature, which I'm not going to get into because we'll be talking for 5 hours. So, and again, just because a person decides to date outside their ethnic group, it doesn't mean that the guy is going to act like a simp and let her get away with stuff. Okay. I mean, look, not to put you on the spot, Denise, but you're the perfect example because you marry MK. Okay. Now, I'm, of course, you and MK had your differences, but you managed to make it work. So, I mean, I saw it, and it's like there was a lot of assumptions that were made without all the facts going in. And I just wish that there were more research regarding what she went through in order for her to reach the conclusion. Okay. Because there are some women that, that did soy chicks that think that way. But then there are women who've been through trauma that lead them to arrive at the decision that they make. So I think what would help if we had gotten a little bit more research regarding why she thoughts the way she thinks, and the reason why. And I know I talked more than I should have, and I'm sorry, but I'm just wondering.
That was really good. That was really good. And I think you nailed it on the head even further, because we have to understand something. If you're not in a multicultural or interracial marriage, you really don't know why those people got together. You don't know. It's like with regular marriages. Like, that's like, if imagine if you're single and you see a person getting married and all of your friends getting married and you're not. Can you really make a proper assessment as to the intentions of why they got married? No, you can't. You really can't, because you don't know. Like we say in Puerto Rico, nadie sabe lo que hay en la olla más que la cuchara que lo menea. So we can't make that statement like that. Oh, you just want to get away with stuff. If a woman is seeking marriage, for the most part, and she's doing the due diligence in order to become a wife, for the most part, I'm not saying the other spectrum that what Radical was talking about doesn't exist. What said was, for the most part, that woman is just, in my eyes, she's just trying to get under the covenant that marriage entails. That's it. And it doesn't matter. And like I said, it gives salty from the Latin men that say this, from the black men that say this, from the white men that say this, from the Asian men that say this. It gives salty. Why? Because you should be happy that somebody married one of your Latin sisters. So more of the Latinas are covered under a happy marriage and a family, rather than having a lot of single old brats out here salty and bitter at the end of life with no kids and no husband. That's the opposite of what would have happened, because we know we have trash bags in our community that are not doing their jobs. So of course those women would have never have a husband. So just be happy for them. Be happy that that's what they went for.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is what I think. I mean, when it comes to marriage and everything like that, and people will say, "Oh, this, that, and the third, or whatsoever." If that person didn't go and look within themselves about what is wrong with them or anything like that, it doesn't matter what type of man that she's gonna date. And she's going to say all men are the same when the fact is she didn't even look within herself. What's her problem? Because a lot of people, they don't have self-reflection. Sorry to say.
No, I agree. I think in her case in particular, right? We don't know what extra trauma she went through, but that trauma specifically, that's a lot.
Right.
But in addition to that, we don't know her life. But there is something wrong with her, and I don't need to look into her life to know there is something going on with her, and she needs to get some type of therapy or something, because you have two children by two different men, and you kept none. So two men cannot be wrong about you. You gotta fix yourself. So like I said, but with I want to add to what Daniel Valencia said, and we discussed this already, Daniel, when he says those women are always just making up excuses, just be honest and say they have a preference, simple as that. No big deal, stop the nonsense and trash others. Trashing others would be that she said, I hate Latin men. I hate Puerto Rican men. I hate the culture. I hate them. They're disgusting. They are pigs. She didn't use any one of those terms. That is not trashing, right? What she said is that she finds Puerto Rican men to be too controlling. And we prove on this stream that sadly a
It's
large
true.
portion of our men in our island are. So
Excuse me.
was she saying that out of feelings, or she was saying that because it's a fact in our group? It's a fact.
Or, or maybe she had traumatic experiences, maybe with her father or her uncle, or seeing male
In
her male
addition,
relatives how they
yeah,
how that.
in addition, because you never know. And by controlling, I don't mean that. Okay, let's just dissect this stuff, right? Your husband or your boyfriend is going to tell you what they don't think you should wear. That is not control. That's just him looking after you. I mean, I don't think that's controlling. MK approves of my wardrobe, and I have no problem with that, right? Controlling means I'm going to control your interactions with family. I'm going to control how much you're going to work, how you're going to spend your money. I'm going to control how you raise my children. I'm going to control what we're going to eat. I'm going to control how often you go to church. I'm going to determine how many times you shower. I'm going to determine if you have a cell phone. That is the control I'm talking about. Now,
All right.
controlling as in things that have a justifiable reason, like, let's keep it real. In a blink of an eye, if I'm outside on a miniskirt showing my top pocket as a woman, and I'm with my spouse, and somebody approaches me and wants to do something to me violently, who's going to risk his life? MK. So of course MK dictates the rules. He determines if he wants, or if he feels like risking his safety and my safety because I want to wear a miniskirt when I can easily just wear a normal dress and not risk his life. So again,
Right.
I don't disagree with that. Yes, your man is supposed to tell you, I don't think what you're wearing is appropriate. If you think that's controlling, then you have a problem. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just
Yeah.
I just gotta put it out there.
Excuse me, Denise. As I recall, you spoke about it at length in another stream 3 years
Yeah, I
ago.
remember that.
Okay,
I remember
and
that stream too.
and and I actually heard the reaction of some of the male members of the panel. I mean, basically, they got very defensive, and to be perfectly honest, so did I. The difference was I was able to sit down and listen, and what you did was you explain and you amplify your point further. So at the end, and come to the conclusion. You know what Denise is saying is not that. It's not that other character. Question. Do you think Puerto Rican men born in the United States, as compared to our male counterparts, Do we have the same issues, or it's different as far as like femicide is concerned?
I think we have that issue worldwide. The problem that I bring to the table when it comes to the Latin community is that ours is very prevalent. Ours
All
is
right,
in large numbers. Ours
all
is
right.
is crazy, and it happens to. I don't know how many of you guys also watch Sound of Freedom. If you want to desecrate a little girl and sexually assault a little girl as young as 6 years old, where do you go? Do you go to the Black community or you go to Latin America?
Um, sadly to say that people, I hate to say this, Denise, but a lot of these creeps are going to third world countries. So that means that could mean Hispanic, that could mean Latin America, that could mean
That's not that's
Africa,
that's not
that
what
could
I that's not
and
what
that
I
and
asked. That's not what I asked.
all
If
right.
you want to desecrate a girl, we're talking about Latin America and the US. If you want to desecrate a girl and you want to sexually assault a little girl as young as 6 years old, where do you go? Latin America or the Black community? Those are the
Hmm.
two options.
I would I don't know nothing about that. I'm gonna be
Well,
honest.
watch Sound of Freedom. That will answer that question for you. But the actual answer is Latin America. That's just what it is. I'm not saying that there's isolated cases in the Black community where girls get desecrated as well. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying in the Latin
Right.
community, we have a problem with violence against women. And I don't know why, if you're a man that doesn't abuse women, why would you struggle with calling out that disgusting flaw that exists within our ranks? You should be like, you know what? I want my community to be better than anything. I'm going to call this out. This is disgusting. We shouldn't have this problem.
Well,
But
one
I
thing
think I think
yo,
that problem that will start happening the more and more men in our community start having girls. When you have a girl and you know that one day that little girl is gonna get married and you don't know who she's gonna pick, and I mean, I'm saying this without any reservation. My dad is not a saint. There's a reason my parents divorced. I love my father. He has his ways with women, but when it came time for his little girls to marry, story was completely different. So, like I said, you got to look at this through the lens of you're a father of a girl that you care for since birth. And when you see that,
right.
you don't want to risk that child with the temperature that we have here today. Some people might be able to get lucky and get one of the good ones. Some people are not so lucky. And then you will have to visit your daughter on a freaking cemetery. You don't want that. And that's the reality of so many Latin parents. That's just how it is. And the
Yeah, it
more we
is.
deny that, the more the problem continues to grow. Because if I'm a criminal and I can get away with stuff in the Latin community because I have people that start barking at me when I mention it, then I can get away with it. I can keep doing it, and I can bring friends to do it with me. That's what we're doing. That's what we're
Hmm.
doing. And on the contrary, if we remove that, hey, you know what? We're going to encourage the girls that didn't manage to land at 19, 20, 21, because we know Latinos, we marry very young. I mean, let's keep it real. We don't do that whole 30-year-old bullshit. That's how, again, another tell as to why that woman being single at 37 doesn't sit right with me. Majority of us, we know that you don't wait till you're like in your 30s to marry. You, before that 30-year-old mark, you already found your husband. But for the girls that did not do that, did not find the husband at 20 and 19 and 17 and whatever the hell, then we're gonna have to offer some options and we're gonna have to stop being salty. And then you add the fact that also, even if the Latin men were perfect and nothing was wrong with them, some women are just gonna love chocolate men. Some women are just gonna love Asian men. Some women are just gonna love some vanilla men. That's just what they want. So does that mean, oh my God, this person just lets her get away with stuff? This person, it's like, that sounds as ridiculous as the terms, oh, you're fetishizing me. Look, the whole
Denise, I have to say something.
go ahead.
All right, it's like this. If you actually look at all what you're saying about women and everything like that, it actually starts at one place. This is my opinion. It actually starts from home. So when it actually starts from home, right? It depends whether it's the mother or the father, because you know in Latin America, I hate to say it, you have certain people who come from a two-parent home, and then you have some people who come from a one-parent home, which is not really their fault, because you know maybe the other parent passed away or something like that, and then
Or
that parent will have to
or we have a culture of host. That's another thing. I have another question for Rad. What standards Latin men, and anybody, what standards Latin men have that no American man, black or white, has? Because he said that he finds that when Latinas marry outside, we run shit. What standards Latin men have that other men don't? Because, and I want to put this out there, I usually don't like to do this. That's why I said I don't want to keep hearing this topic about why we're marrying somebody else. Just be happy for us, clap, and let us ride into the sunset, because then we have to explain in detail why these things are happening. But if Latin men really had the hand on the pan and a tight grip on things, where is Tokisha's father and his standards for her?
all right.
Where's the
First of all,
no, hold on, Don Armando. Where is La Insuperable's father? Where is Carol G's father? Where is Anita's dad? Where is Jailin Lamas Viral's dad? And I can continue down the list, man. All these women are thoughts. We have a lot of whores in our community. You can drive down Figueroa here in Los Angeles, and you can see a lot of Latinas selling coochie, butt ass naked. Where are the fathers that we're saying, oh, there's some standards? What standard? Because it, for you as a man to have a standard, your father had to teach you that standard. And if that's the case, then where are this girl's fathers? Why he doesn't have standards for his little? Because it's prevalent. We are
all
seeing
right,
more and more and more and more Latinas turning into prostitution. We have the Venezuelan chicks selling coochie in New York right now. So that means
sadly.
they didn't learn that here. They just came from Venezuela. How does your mind comes like, hey, I'm in poverty, I'm here in this country, and instead of just cleaning houses or babysitting or being someone's maid, I'm just gonna sell coochie? How does that, how do you how do you come to the how do you come to that profession instead of doing anything but? I don't
All
understand.
right,
I really don't understand.
all right,
There's
uh,
no hold on, Don Armando, because I haven't finished. There's
all
no
right,
justification for that. I came to this country with little to no money. I know what it is to be living out of a hotel, living in a little room, and I never had to sell coochie. I worked. If I had to wash dishes, I wash dishes. If I had to prepare foods for people, I prepare foods for people. If I had to do classes, I did classes. If I had to do whatever, I did whatever. So there's no excuse. There is a problem of not of us not accepting that we have these issues in our countries. There's not all Latin men are like this, but the problem is prevalent. The problem is prevalent. The problem is larger than we want to admit it is. Let's work on it. Let's stop putting like band-aids on gunshots. Go ahead, Normando.
all right. I'm not gonna go around and say what it is, but this is what I'm saying. If you actually look at this modern age, and let's say maybe the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, right? from then till now, degeneracy when it comes to women wasn't easily promoted as it is now. So when you actually have degeneracy promoted as at an all time high on how you could get over and everything like that, that's why you're seeing a lot of women who are being prostitutes, and they think that okay, we're gonna get ahead in life instead of actually working hard and actually having an education like certain women who are actually in the professional field, as of yourself, Denise. So the thing is though that if you promote degeneracy in all cultures, you'll see that women will actually go to those things because it makes degeneracy looks cool. Now if you make sure that that Anna is getting a Becca or something like that, right? Or she's getting a doctorate or something, you will see more professional than all the people who are actually coming into the country and thinking that they're gonna sell their bodies. But that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I love that you brought up that point because the whole degeneracy being sold as something cool in America, we know it stemmed from the hip hop culture. Contrary to what people want to hear, that's the same problem with drug abuse and gang banging. It's being promoted by the hip hop culture. And if we go, where is our own quote unquote urban culture? It stems from which
Uh,
country? Which island
uh,
created basically the same urban movement as hip hop that promotes the same selling coochie?
uh,
Like, what? There's a song. If you know about Wisin and Yandel in the past, there is a
yeah.
song that has a saying with Yandel, and he says, "Vas a ser en esta vida, vas a ser mía o de nadie. You're gonna be in this life. You're gonna be mine or no one's." That's the reggaeton I grew up listening to. And there's way
Same
more
here.
degeneracy. There's way more degeneracy spewing from that to the point that we see these ladies doing disgusting things. I never met a single American woman as disgusting as Tokisha. If you don't know
Um.
that, if you don't
Uh,
know, go and look at Tokisha. I think Suki Hana, but Suki Hana is not American, but Suki Hana is on her level. Those women
all right. All right.
are just
All right.
disgusting. No, hold on, Don
All
Armando,
right.
please. Don't interrupt
Okay.
me.
All right.
So, like I said, this whole thing stems from what we hear, what comes through and influences us. And if we, with open arms, allow this stuff to fester, especially and mainly in our island, we're going to see these problems. I just listened several months ago, Elias White Lion talking about uh, how the youth in Puerto Rico is consuming drugs at levels he has never seen. He said these people are even putting anesthesia in their bodies now. But if you listen to the music, that's where that is made cool. What made him turn into Christianity when his own son was listening to a song that he wrote and it was very famous that was celebrating drinking pills and partying while intoxicated with pills. And he felt disgusted about himself and he decided to turn his life around and become a Christian. So, again, at the end of the day, if these things do stem from the music we listen to and the programming that we are watching, where did it started? Where did it all
Um.
started?
Okay. This is what I'm
No,
just gonna say, and this is a theory. If you actually look at all the novelas from back in the day, right?
Don
From
Armando, the shit
until
that we're seeing today does not come from novelas. Where the urban movement started.
no, 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 no. I'm not talking. because there's music and novelas are two
But that is
different things,
that is the
right?
question that is the question that I asked. Where the urban movement started.
Okay. You see, the urban movement, I guess, or I guess the gangster movements or whatever, I guess started in the East Coast, right? But
No, the urban
no,
Latin movement. I'm talking about Latin urban genre. That means reggaeton, dembow, trap, Latin version. Where did it started?
well, isn't it between Puerto Rico and Panama?
It started in Puerto Rico. Dance hall started in Panama with El General and them. And then in Puerto Rico, we created reggaeton. We promote the same shit we criticize in the Americans. And don't get me wrong, the music is dope. Yes, you do. It's an enormous motivator to work out. The problem is that you have the youth thinking that this is reality and actually enacting these things. And we're seeing, like I said, nasty stuff happening in our community. I think MC said, "Tell Blood Moon I say hi." That's what you wanted me to read. Anyway, let me continue. So I see that Ramon, he said, "I created reggaeton." No, seriously, guys, this started in Puerto Rico. Again, Ramon, I know you're gonna be here. You're gonna disagree with me on certain points, but for the most part, I think we can both agree we have a crisis in PR when it comes to this man, this pig's killing women.
It is. It is. I'm never gonna deny that that is an issue when it comes to issues of crimes of passion and domestic violence and things like that. Of course, I'm not gonna deny that there are issues, but we will have to address what is causing them. Okay, accountability, that is important, and I believe that for the most part, okay, I heard what Molusco was saying, that there are instances in which accountability is not placed properly, but I do believe that for the most part, the accountability is going to be there. It has to be applied properly, and okay, there are issues. There are issues. It's just that I disagree with what you were saying before when it comes to Latin America, because okay, you said that it was 4,000 women.
No, not me. The ICLAC, the United Nations.
Okay, well, the ITLA said that it was 4,000 women that were being
that get killed every day in Latin
that were,
year.
were killed. Okay, yeah, but if you're talking about when it comes to issues of crime affects men more. More men are getting
But
killed.
that's not the topic, Ramon.
But the top, well, we're making a comparison for a moment, and
But the comparison would be
okay, but let me say this. Let me say this. If we're talking about it's horrible, it's messed up that there are 4,000 women that are being killed out of a population of about 670 million people, which is the size of the Latin community. I don't know the percentage. I'm only familiar with the raw numbers. You are not gonna tell me that men are going all over the place on a rampage, killing women. That's not what's happening. Yes, the issues that are happening with the.
How many women you would say today are experiencing domestic violence and silence and not reported in Latin America? If you had to say a rough number.
Well, I don't know the raw number, and
then how can we? But then how can we?
You're jumping between all of Latin America and then Puerto Rico and then the United States.
I'm saying I'm gonna talk about Puerto Rico because I live there.
Puerto Rico has the women's advocate and the authorities. They have about the women in Puerto Rico have this kind of like the same power of reporting domestic violence issue to the authorities, and they have the women's advocate.
What authorities?
That's a whole office that is dedicated to that.
All right.
What authority?
Denise.
No, hold on, Don Ramon, Don Armando. What authorities are those?
Okay. So the police department is just allowing all of it
Okay.
to happen.
I'm
all
gonna
over the
tag.
state?
I'm gonna tag that video where Molusco is saying that the cops
I heard what
40.
Molusco said.
But let me finish because you said the cops. Let's dissect them together. We're just having a conversation. There's no need for animosity. The
Mhm.
cops arrived 40 minutes later. Molusco said, we don't have enough cops. We know that with the great migration that happened from 2012 all the way to 2019, from 17,000 policemen in Puerto Rico, we have 9,000. We don't have that resource.
Mhm.
So what other resource women that are facing domestic violence have?
Well, Molusco talked about it, how the women can protect themselves. They should be able to protect themselves. I'll be the first one to say that men
No, but
and
you
women
said
should be able
that
to
we have.
protect themselves.
You said that Puerto Rican women in the island have the same resources to protect themselves and report as American women. I want you to tell me what resources.
When it comes to rights, I said rights. I mean, and
No,
that's
you
gonna
said
make it
you said
seriously.
report. You said reporting. I want to know what reporting. And I'm being honest. If you tell me something that I don't know, I will admit it. I don't have a problem with that. I just said what avenues. Let's say that you have a cousin that's being a husband
Mhm.
is beating her up, and
Mhm.
she wants to report this problem. Where does she go?
Yes.
Because we know cops are not necessarily helpful. So where does she go?
Well, the police departments are still there.
No,
I mean,
no,
okay,
but I just told you they don't have the
time,
personnel.
there may be a problem with the response times, but the police departments are still
Okay.
there.
Let's say that she calls the police, and in this instance, because of the grace of God and the universe conspire in her favor, the cops arrive in time and remove her. Where does she go from there?
Okay, she could be going to our relatives, either a
No,
relative.
I mean, like, as in to protect her life. Like, imagine that she's a lawyer or she is a cashier and she has
Get a
to go to work
restraining
the next
order.
day. Huh? Get a restraining order. Okay, but the problem is that our judges today, according to what Molusco said, and not just what Molusco said, you follow
Mhm.
Molusco, you know that I think this is the 5th woman since Andrea Ruiz Costas that judges are not granting the protective or restriction orders and they end up dead. Andrea Ruiz Costas ended up raped, naked, and set on fire on a dumpster because the judge understood to her ability that she was not being harassed by
Yeah,
her
that
ex-boyfriend.
judge did fail her.
So if judges not granting restriction orders against
Okay,
the
that
abuse,
judge didn't.
where do Puerto Rican women go now? What's another resource?
Okay, they need to bring that situation to the advocate, to the women's advocate.
What advocate? Because the
Okay,
women's
so
advocate.
now you're gonna tell me that there isn't a women's advocate, la Procuraduría de la
La
Mujer.
Procuraduría de la Mujer is in bankruptcy because we're on austerity measures because of the oversight board. You know that because of La Junta. It's in bankruptcy. Julia de Burgos, el albergue Julia de Burgos, which is the women's shelter, is at overcapacity. Where does she go?
Okay.
That's what
I didn't know
like
that part. I mean, for the longest time, I have been aware of the advocate's office.
Yeah, me too. There was a time where it worked, but we're talking about now. It doesn't work. It hasn't been working. So, where do Puerto Rican women go? Where are those resources?
More and more, there has been a woman. There has been a movement for women and other people, men too, to be able to protect themselves with firearms. That might be the only other thing that I can think of that they can do.
I have no protest against that because, again, yes, men are being killed. There's a lot of crimes against men. My only issue when I hear men, especially Puerto Rican men, bring up that men get killed more than women, I ask only one question.
Yes, because
how is that relevant to what we're talking about?
Because you are making it seem that there is this rampage of crime and killings that is disproportionate against women, and it's not like that. I mean, men are
It
more
is because
will be more of a victim, if anything.
no, I think
But
you're
when
looking
it
at
comes to
this.
crimes in general, it happens more to
Okay.
men. I
Okay.
mean, okay, you put that video, you put out that video, and you show it shows Alessandra Lugaro. Why Alessandra Lugaro isn't dead?
Let
Because
me
she
let me
herself.
finish what I was saying. Let me finish what I was saying.
Mhm.
This is my issue with that problem because that's a whataboutism, and that's why I said that's why we keep burying.
I didn't say what
women.
about it. What
No,
about?
but hold on, Ramon, because I let you talk and I'm the host. Let's calm down. Again, this is why that's a whataboutism. We're comparing crime as equal, right? It's equal when men get killed versus when women get killed. The only problem that I have with that statement when it's done about Puerto Rico and any other Latin jurisdiction is that are those men that you and many other men, not you, love to bring up, are they getting killed by their spouse, their woman, or they're getting killed by also violent men?
Crime and
No,
it has
not crime. Crime doesn't kill
no,
nobody. Crime
but
don't kill
okay,
no.
it's
No,
fine. It
Ramon,
happens
Ramon.
to men.
Okay. Men are killing men, and men are killing women. So
Mhm.
if men are killing both men and women, then when men kill men, it's not the equivalent as to men killing women because it's not in a romantic scenario or a physical or sexual scenario that men are getting killed unless they're transsexual or they were about in the process of getting sexually assaulted. We're
Oh well,
talking about regular
Oh,
crime
all right.
versus passionate crimes, which is completely different because the equivalent will be that we have a crisis because men are in large numbers starting to get killed by their wives. That will be the equivalent to what I'm talking about.
Well, in
All right.
we are in a position where we are gonna be disposed of, and we have to sacrifice ourselves for others. So it those targets us more. No, if you look at what's
women
happening,
I'm lost. Yeah, please explain to me like I'm a kindergartner. What you meant by what you said? I don't understand how that relates to femicide and
okay, but at
men
least
getting killed by their wives.
femicide, it does happen. But the thing is that overall, when it comes to issues of people getting killed, it happens more with men for whatever the reason.
We just went over that fact that men kill more men and men also kill women. My only issue with you is that you don't seem to comprehend that men are the ones inflicting the violence in disproportionate numbers regardless of who they kill. So if you get killed as a man, you're at risk of getting killed by men, and women are also at risk getting killed by men, then the problem is still going to be men being violent.
Yeah.
It doesn't negate. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Just because men get killed by men in a different type of crime, it doesn't negate that men in our island are a threat to society. Men and women in a romantic setting, and for men in a crime setting, like a regular crime setting.
All right.
So it doesn't
Sister
negate the
Denise,
problem.
Denise, if I can just chime in, please. I just want to bring up this interesting point because you mentioned that in Puerto Rico there are 9,000 police officers. Okay, in the city of New York, which is basically maybe 1/10 the size of the island, there's 36,000 police officers. So that's something that they need to take into consideration. Now I agree, men get killed, but the problem I have by simply stating men get killed, I mean, basically you're comparing apples to oranges, okay? And what it does, it trivializes the fact that women are getting killed. You know, based on the fact, because unfortunately the person that's allegedly perpetrating the crime is either their spouse or their significant other. So, and I'm not belittling the fact men get killed, but I think what happened is whenever we talk about femicide, and then someone mentions, well, men get killed too. It's kind of, I mean, in a way, it's kind of like trivializing what women are going through.
Mhm.
And the fact of the matter is, the court system in Puerto Rico is totally different than it is in the United States. Okay, first of all, unfortunately, and this is based on the little knowledge I know based on you, the court system in Puerto Rico does not work. I mean, we have judges that allow um, these people to do what they do, which is why you have so many women who are victims of femicide.
Absolutely. That's all I'm saying is the fact that we I don't know, and I still can't find the answer because I've read most of the comments and I keep asking, where can young girls under 30 in the Latin community harvest husbands if we have a uptick in cartel crimes and gang recruiting and violent men that will also be violent to them, where the wives that were supposed to be assigned to those guys, where those girls are supposed to go, where do they go, where do they find husbands?
May I answer that?
Yeah.
Okay. Either I'm just speaking for all Latin from all Latin America. Either they'll find a husband that is under that their level, mentally, or I guess they'll have to go to a place where they have a better quality of men that would actually take care of them, that are not into gang recruitment and all the other stuff that plagues a lot of men in the Hispanic community. Not all,
Exactly.
just some.
No, I again, nobody's saying all because saying all would be disingenuous and just hating men for the sake of hating them. What I'm saying is that is what is happening. We know that there is a crisis happening in the American society. American women are way far into their third, almost fourth wave of feminism, and that has created a surplus of American men available and marriable. So, wouldn't you want your Latina sisters to take advantage of those circumstances and make a cool family, since otherwise they wouldn't end up alone, bitter, childless, and without a husband?
Right, but then there's another thing too. Like for example, and this happens within all cultures. You have you have like a surplus of single people now because of feminism or whatsoever, right?
In
But
America,
then
not a
in
surplus, not
America,
in
that's
other
yeah,
places.
yeah. I'm not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying in America, right? But then if you actually look at other women who come from different cultures that are not American, right?
Mhm.
You have certain people who actually come to this country educated and they want better for their children, right? And then you have certain people that have the same mentalities from their old country. So let's say, so I'm going to put a scenario, right? Let's say American guy, he could be Black American or white, right? Or Native American for that matter, right? So he meets a female
And
who is
Asian.
like from,
Asians are
no,
going
no,
through the same thing.
all right, but you can see, but I'm going to say Eastern European, right?
Mhm.
Because there's not a lot. There's a population of them too, but then they go with their how should I say, with their standards and their culture, right? So
Mhm.
let's say you marry an Eastern European woman, and then her family doesn't approve it. Then after that, the family dynamics is going to shift, and then on top of it, you have certain people that still have the ignorant mindsets that be like, okay, you have to marry your own or something like that.
But why does
So
that even matter when this is my thing? Is it perfect? No, this is a band-aid to a cut that's deep. And of course, but first of all, when you marry, your spouse is number one. Your family comes secondary and probably third. Second of all, right? Your family, depending if you're close knit, your family knows that, hello, I tried other options and it doesn't, I can't find anything in my circle that matches my values, that matches my mindset, or it's similar to my culture. Because sometimes, I mean, in my case, it was because it's similar to my culture. I'm not similar to Mexican, Central American, or South American. I'm more similar to African American. So, of course, it's very understandable why I click more with African American males. So, aside from that, I don't see how that will disrupt a whole family simply because that it's happening.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's often I've found more disruption with outside people that I don't know when it comes to multicultural or interracial marriage than I've found with my family or in case family. We haven't had problem merging our family. I see that radical, the toxic Latino. No, I'm joking. Okay.
I wanted to say one little thing
man,
before.
yo,
before
Go ahead, Ramon.
Okay, just tell Latinas that you want them to do what you did. Just say that.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
No, I'm playing.
No, I know, but the thing is, like, I'm not saying that. I'm telling you what it's happening now, especially in the Puerto Rican community. I can even talk to you in my family. I'm not. Trust me, I'm not the only one, and I'm definitely not the youngest one in my family that has married an African American man. I have a cousin that's eight. Well, she just turned 20, but 18, she had her African American husband. I have another cousin in the East Coast that has an African American husband. They have 5 kids. I have another one that's about to get married. I have several in my family. And how is this happening when you have large populations of Puerto Rican men? Because we are going through a crisis, and many Puerto Rican men that are of substance are married too young, or they're not in their location, so they have to look for something else. You want your Puerto Rican sisters to go somewhere where they're loved and cared for. So
we ain't shit. Just say that we ain't shit. So they need to.
I don't know how that translates into what you just said.
Yeah,
because I
well,
never said that. I
I
never
just
said
summed it
that.
up. Just summed it up. Yeah, because we ain't shit. So Puerto Rican women need to get with everyone else.
No,
you're
but
right.
like
You're right. You're radical. You're radical.
Look, there's a surplus of marriable women and marriable men. There's a surplus of marriable women in Latin America, a surplus of marriable men in America. Unfortunately, it's going to happen. Some of the Latina women are going to come for the green card. Some Latina women are going to come because they really want to be in a healthy relationship and they can find it. And some are just going to come because they're attracted to black or white men. That's just how it is.
But to a degree, many of them, that's already kind of happening. If you look at some of the actresses, I mean, if you look at Salma Hayek, Rosalind Sanchez, they're all with white dudes.
That's what I said. And she tried with Victor Manuel, but that indígena did not do her any good. Let's just put it out there. I mean,
what was that about Victor Manuel? I didn't hear.
Victor Manuel did not do her any good at all. At all. I mean, I don't know if you know, but the word on the streets is not really good for Victor Manuel. So she tried at home first. It did not work, but she went with the white man. I can't blame her. I you know what? I am a fan of her, and I even watched their I listened to their podcast, which is really good. You should listen to her podcast. It was really good.
Victor Manuel is a public figure. I don't know about her husband.
No, her husband is a super public figure. He's on The Rookie. He's Tim Bradford. Anyway, going to Brad. I want to go to Brad, give him a chance to spread some of that poison over here, some of that salt. Rad, I don't know if you can unmute yourself.
Yo, what's up? Listen, if you're gonna hear some noise in the background, my bad. I'm kind of in a little huge, like, busy place right now. But real quick, the main reason why I even made that video, because one, I found it interesting. I'm not saying that Puerto Rican women should be dating black men or whatever the case is. I just found it very interesting, the fact that she was still looking for black men, which I am assuming her both baby daddies were black, because I'm just assuming that. And it didn't work out for them. So maybe I'm like, hey, maybe that wasn't the right choice. Now, secondly,
What,
the fact
black
that
men were not the right choice?
if she didn't get married, then obviously there probably
But
wasn't the right
who's the
choice. But let me just
who's the
finish.
only?
But let me just finish. Let me finish. And the fact that she said that Puerto Rican men are controlling. The thing is, she just talked about Puerto Rican men. She's not talking about Dominican men. She's not talking about. And I understand the stats, and you're absolutely right on the stats. But the thing is, those stats are just in Latin America. Those stats are not in America with Americanized Latinos. Americanized Latinos are not doing none of that bullshit. Americanized Latinos aren't just whipping Latinas' asses and then just setting them on fire and stuff. Americanized Latinos ain't doing that. The simp shit that we're seeing is in Latin America.
Brad, don't say those things because you don't want me to do a video with
No,
you.
the reason
voiceover. You don't want that, bro.
No, the reason why I say that is because my own wife even said it. She's like, you're very different because you're Americanized from the mindset of Latino culture.
Brad, that's not
it's
true.
very prevalent.
Brad, that's not true. I think
It is. No, it is. It's very prevalent.
Brad, there's pockets of that. Bro, there is pockets of that. That is not factual. That is not factual. That is not factual.
No, you might be right. It's not factual. You might be right. I don't know. But the same thing, how it's not factual that all Puerto Rican men are abusive.
What?
You heard what I said?
No, I did not hear what you
Yeah,
said.
exactly.
Say it again.
No, I said it might not be factual, but the same thing is not factual that all Puerto Rican men are abusive.
I never said all Puerto Rican men are abusive. I don't know why you guys.
No, not you. I'm not saying that's what you said. I'm not saying that's what you said.
But
I'm saying that's what
the
content and the context of that video. That's what it came off of as her saying that.
But that's all that woman has known. It's control, abuse, and violence. That's literally how her life.
Yeah, but that was woman speak. That's modern woman speak. When a lot of women say controlling, that meant that the guy was not gonna let her do whatever the hell she wanted.
And that's a perfect example, Ramon. That's a perfect example.
Rules and regulations, and she didn't like that, and that's what she's calling controlling. A lot of these modern women are saying the same thing. All of these women that are getting divorced,
and Denise,
they are all saying the same thing.
And Denise, let me just say something real quick. Let me just say something real quick. Hold on, Denise. When you remember what?
Did you guys hold on? Did you guys know that that's what she meant when she said controlling, or you're assuming?
No, we're just assuming because that's what.
Then it's an assumption on you guys' perspective.
Well, it's an assumption. Wait. Also, it's an assumption on you thinking that just because she went through a little fucked up situation with Latinos getting raped,
little fucked up situation.
It's a little fucked up situation. She didn't say that. She didn't say. She never said that. She never said that. But she never said that. But Denise, she never said that. Denise, she never said that. She never said that. She just said controlling. She has to. Because if you want to use that as a fact, she has to say that. If you want to use that as a fact, she has to say that.
Clarification, because
Guys,
women tend to speak in general terms. If she has one bad experience, that means that
but check this out, Denise. Remember how you just said a couple of minutes ago how your husband tells you what to do and all this other stuff, and you're saying he's laying it down or whatever the case is. A woman like that would say, "Oh, well, he's controlling." So
how do you know?
Because that majority of women who use that phrase use it in those terms.
But this is my thing.
All right, but
hold on, Don Armando, hold on, because I gotta react to this. This is my thing. I want you guys to. You gotta choose what the narrative is going to be, and you gotta stand on that, right? Because what I hear is, oh, you're saying we're abusive, but the same problems are in the Black community or the white community. That's what you guys are saying on one end, right? When women say, oh, no, this happens everywhere. Okay, stand on that. Or the option is these women are going to this group because they don't want to conform to the traditions that entails to be with a Latin man. So it has to be one of the two, because if black and white men are abusive and also kill women because they are traditional, then it's impossible, mathematically speaking, for them to also be soft and let you walk all over them. So which one is going to be with you guys? Because you're gonna have your cake and eat it
because
too.
you just changed the whole narrative and it has nothing to do with that.
No,
The thing
I'm
is
not.
that
I'm not.
women who
Pick one.
engage, but women who engage in promiscuous behavior, women who engage in in
Do
walking
you
all over
know that
their
she's
man and all this other
promiscuous?
stuff,
Do you know she's
aren't.
promiscuous?
Well, do you know that she's the reason why she doesn't go with Latin men is because a little situation happened?
No, I'm not saying that that's what she said. I
No,
said in her life. I said in her life. In her
we
life.
don't
I
know
said
that, but we don't know that if that really affected
again,
her traumatically.
Brad, take a sip. Like I said, like I said, you don't know if her life. We know that that's a very traumatic experience that will throw off any woman from any group. If you have, I have an uncle that a black man stole his wife. He don't want to mess with black people because it threw him off of a whole race. Now that happens also in the dating scene. If you date an Asian woman and she beats you up and do little cuts with a knife at night on you and you feel it and she denies it and you discover it, you're not going to want to date another Asian woman because it will throw you off. So let's just act mature and go back to the options. Are American men weaklings that Latina masculine women desire to walk all over them, or they're these abusive monsters just as much as the abusive monsters in the Latin community, and women will find no different? Or I will offer even a third one. All men are the same and all men have different flaws, and women will go whatever they feel they're more in tune with.
Like I said, that's a straw man argument. That has nothing to
No?
do with what we're talking about.
What?
The fact is, if Denise, I'm gonna ask you something, and then I'm gonna answer your diluted question. God forbid, if you experience when you were a little girl rape by a Latino, and then you say, I don't like dating Latino men, and then they ask you why, what would you say?
If a person was abusive to me,
If you were raped by a Latino and you don't like dating Latino men, and then people ask you
as
why,
a
what would you
result of
say?
that,
Yes,
I
what would
would
you say?
say, yeah, I don't prefer Latin men. I think they're abusive.
Exactly. Not controlling, abusive. Thank you. She
I
said
mean, was she sexually
she said
assaulted?
control
Was
she
she
said
was
controlling.
did she say sexually?
She said controlling. That's it. If she would have said anything else that would have even hinted to that, then we
That
would
I found a
understand.
solution for that. The next
Because
time
every
that
time
no,
when something happens to somebody, from another race, they give you specifics. Oh, I don't like this race because of this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and this happens to me and this happened. They give you a story. She just said controlling. That's it.
Rad again, Rad.
Yeah, you
And
can assume that because
One,
she said control it,
but
that
let
means
me,
that
but
she was
let me, but
getting beat
listen.
up.
This is
and that's an assumption. And Denise, I understand what you're coming from, but the whole thing was a reach from her past, and that's the reason why. Come on now, she didn't say none of that shit. She didn't say none of
Right.
that. I'm just saying.
Excuse me.
You're radical.
Rad.
Yo,
No,
what's up?
hold on, guys. Hold on.
All right.
You guys need to like stop with the tears, okay? Like, come on, man. We're being realistic here.
See, that's female talk for saying stop calling
No,
out my
no, no,
bullshit.
no, 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 no. This is my
No,
problem
but
with
I
the
do
question.
have,
Hold on,
but I
okay.
do have a question for radical though.
Hold on, though. This is my issue with what you said. Two issues. First of all, you didn't answer my question. And if I'm using strongman arguments, you're using strongman arguments to describe Latino men because you're only pointing out.
I'm using straw feminism arguments.
No, you're using strongman arguments to describe Latino men. And that's
Oh,
my
why I gotta
problem
be
with
a strong man? Why can't I be a strong woman? Huh?
stop. So my issue has always been, even here on my platform, is basically how never in the Latin community we want to take any type of accountability for the social issues we
No,
have.
you're right. No, you're
That's the
absolutely
same
right.
thing that, let me ask you something. Was Donald Trump shopping for a strong black or white man, or like a simp black or white man, when he said that what's coming and what's failing now from the Latin spectrum is crime and rape? Was he shopping for a nice American husband that was sweet and
No, he was being
weak?
truthful. He was being truthful.
Then if Donald Trump, one of the most powerful men on earth, is saying that, could it be also true for the nobody little 23-year-old Latina woman that doesn't want to date their
No,
own, you know?
when they say that, not say something
No,
else.
no, I'm not
Again,
saying that they're gonna say that. They're just saying
again, you have
no.
to be very specific when you say certain things. Don't just start assuming and
Rod,
putting extras on it. That's what you did. You put extras on it.
No, Rod, I'm just saying, I just used one specific point of a girl's life that could throw off a whole person.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Hold
You just
on.
said it yourself. That could, keyword could.
I never
Not
said
that it
that
was.
specifically is what threw her
Exactly.
off.
So why are you making the whole argument as to that then?
No, I just the argument that I wanted to bring up is the fact that if you had that specific traumatic event, right?
Oh no, I
That
had worse traumatic events with
hold on.
Latinas, and
Let
I'm
me.
married to a Latina.
Oh my God! Can I? Did you? Let me finish. That specific traumatic event, and you had that, and that was not solved until 2021, and you have that person now 3 years after, well, that was 2 years, 2 years after the fact, saying, I don't want to mess with this type of man because
What? Hello, I can't hear you. Hello.
Yeah,
All
cut out.
right. Yeah. Nah, but the question I was gonna ask you, Radical, is that okay? If you look at the word control, right? That could be in a broader spectrum, right? It could be if that person was
if all
very
you
controlling.
know, that's a girl raised in a caserio. All she knows is sicarios. If that's all you know,
Denise,
your
you were
life.
talking
No,
and
hold
nobody
on,
was
hold
hearing you.
on,
No,
hold on,
nobody
hold
was
on.
hearing you. Nobody was hearing you. You gotta repeat it again.
Oh, so what was the last thing you guys heard?
You just cut off, literally in the beginning.
You just cut
Oh,
off.
in the beginning? Well, you guys
Yeah.
don't know. Like I said, you don't know if this lady, that's all she knows, because you don't know her upbringing. If you look into her story, for the most part, what facts do we have? She grew up in the Bronx. The Bronx was not what the Bronx is today. The Bronx in the 80s was a spot that you will enter at your own risk. New Yorkers, please represent. Now,
Excuse me. Actually, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I don't mean to interrupt. But what Denise saying is absolutely 100%. Because okay, first of all, I know I'm like 10,000 years old over here.
Right.
But I do remember there were in the Bronx. You know, it's like you're taking your life into your own hands. Particularly, you enter in certain areas of the Bronx. So what Denise is saying is absolutely positively true.
yeah, so like I said, if that's all you know in your life and that's all you've been exposed to, that is the concept that you're going to have of your own man. Probably she was raised in, I don't know, Montelledra in Puerto Rico, or in Palmas del Mar, or in Cañaboncito, or whatever the hell.
I don't
She
know
probably
anything
would have
about
been like, oh my God, I love Puerto Rican men. But she was not exposed to that life, unfortunately. So that's why I was trying to explain to you. There's going to be different women in our group that are going to go somewhere else for many reasons. One of the reasons is because the exposure that they've had is to crime and violent men in our group, and those men exist, and those victims that experience that are going to go somewhere because they're thrown up. It's the same shit we see with Latin men that are thrown up Latina women, because we know that there's a lot of Latina women that can be on the, I don't want to say criminal side, but to me it's criminal, but abusive side. And that happens in every group. That's not just Latin group. Isn't it the same thing that we see black women say when they say, I don't want to be with this type of man, I don't want black men, I want a Latino because black men ain't shit and stuff.
Can I
And you
ask a
look
question?
at them and you look at them and they come from where? What are the type of black men they've been exposed to? Trash black men, not the good black men. Are they saying they hate black men because they say that? No. Are there black women that hate black men? Absolutely. Just like there's Latinas that hate Latino men. But this is not one of that case. And that's why I use that to prove that, because you were making it seem like she was coming with hatred. That was not hatred, bro. She was just preferring something because in her experience, she has experienced control. She don't like that.
Wait. I didn't make it seem like she was hating on Puerto Ricans.
That's what you said. You said
I don't know, but
hatred. You said
how about the
hatred.
whole
You used
control
the
thing?
word.
No. I said a preference is okay. The only thing will be the issue if it has hatred in it. But I never said that was her reasoning. I never said that was her reasoning.
Well, you
If you
said that it was hatred. You want me to go
no
to
no
your
no no
video?
no no I wanted to make specifically clear if your preference is hatred, then it's wrong.
But
Nothing that she said was hateful.
but you said you used the word hatred, so you're
Yeah,
misinforming people from you.
I
So you
used the word
misinforming.
the word hatred. You just understood it wrong.
Oh, I understood it wrong. So you're responsible for
Yeah,
just saying
because she didn't say
stuff.
she didn't say that she hated Puerto Rican men. She didn't say nothing about negative about Puerto Rican men. I just added that as to clarify what would I think what preference wrong would be. That's it.
You want to go back to your video and see if that's how it's
I
going.
I don't have to go back to my video. I know what I said. I said if your preference adds some hatred, then that would be wrong. I never said that she added hatred. I never said that.
Yeah, she said the controlling thing.
She only said controlling, and I never said nothing of that. That's hateful. You misunderstood it.
I misunderstood that you said that it gets weird when hatred is inserted.
Yeah, that's when it gets hateful. But I never said that's what she was putting up on that. I never said that she was hateful for it.
Then why even bring that up?
To clarify
In the
what I
same
think.
sentence.
To clarify what a
So
what
if
a
she,
what
so if
wouldn't
she
a preference
wasn't,
what
if
to
she
clarify.
wasn't hating,
Hold on. To
if she,
clarify what I think a non-preference would be. That's why I brought it up.
okay, Brad, that's how you think it comes off. I want people in the chat to put a number one if you think that when Radical
No,
used the
that's
term
fine. No, that's
hatred,
fine.
he meant
People
what
can
he said.
misinterpret it the way they want to.
So
It's
all
fine.
of us are misinterpreting you.
I'm letting you know what I meant by it. If you want to take it a different way, that's cool. I
No,
don't
it's
care.
not a me thing. That's what I said. Let's ask the people that heard you from your own mouth, not me. I didn't put the words in your mouth. Use the word hate or hatred to actually describe what this woman was saying. That's how it came off to
No, I
me.
made an example.
But I could be
But
wrong. So like I said, I can play the video and let people decide
I,
it's just a me
go
thing and I
ahead, but
misunderstood.
I made it very clear right now as to why I even brought that up.
But
That's
let's
what I'm
see if
trying to
that's
tell
how
you.
it comes off,
Okay.
because that's not how it comes off, Brad.
Okay.
That's not
Then
how
my
it comes
bad.
off. That's not how it comes off.
Then I miscommunicated. All right.
Let's go. Let's hear what Rad has to say.
She said, "Yeah." So let me just say something real quick. First of all, there's nothing wrong with having a preference. You know, it is what it is. If you only like dating white women, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If you're from another race, you only like dating white women, who cares? It is what it is. If you only like dating Asian women, it is what it is. We should not be out here, demanding what you should be dating, what you shouldn't be dating. You know, it is what it is. Who really cares? The only thing is when it gets a little bit of an issue, not with me, but I'm just saying it just gets a little bit of an issue is when the preference is an excuse for hatred, meaning, well, I only date so and so because my women are, you know what I'm saying? That's when it becomes like a little bit crazy. You feel me? And
I want you to. I want people to say if they think that what Rat meant was that hatred as an isolated thing will be a bad thing, or if it was referring specifically to this case, because you literally said when it gets like into hatred is when you say I prefer this because so my men are so and so. She literally said Puerto Rican men are controlled.
Yeah, but it wasn't hateful.
But that's what you said though.
Yeah, as an example, as to why I was finding an issue. No, I'm telling you what I meant by it. I'm telling you what I meant by it. That's fine.
Disagree on this
No,
because that's not.
There's no disagreeing to agree. I'm telling you what I meant by it.
No, I have to agree to disagree because I don't agree with what
There's
you
no
said.
disagreement. I'm telling you what I meant by it. This again, when you take me out of context and I'm telling you what I meant by it, there's no disagreeing or agreeing. You gotta take me for my word.
But that's not what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
That's not what you interpreted. That's okay.
But if it's something, okay, let me ask you something. If I say something and 17 people understood it in a certain way, and I meant something different, then did I? What is it?
You know how many times? You know how many times Slow Tabs thought that you would say one thing when you actually meant something else? Come on now.
No, but the thing is, it's not that I meant something else. It's how it comes off. Not to just one person, but to like a whole demographic.
The point is, if it came off like that, then I miscommunicated. It is what it is. I could care less about that. That's why you talk to me, the person that said it. You know, what do you mean by that? And I'm telling you what I meant by it.
Okay, I take what you mean now, but I'm just pointing out that in that video, right, it was very inflammatory because it came off as you're saying this woman actively is preferring another group out of hatred for her own.
No. And I even made it perfectly clear later on in the video when I even said the issue that I find with it is that it's not a compliment. And that's when I went into the whole argument about not being a compliment when she said those type of things.
But you didn't talk just about her when you said that. You talk about a whole group of women. Like
no, I said it when
outside of my group.
No, I said when women say things like that. Yeah, that's what I said.
Whether they prefer another group over her own.
No,
So
when they no. When they said no, when they no. When they say X, Y, and Z is this. My group of people is this and this and this, and I prefer this and this and this. That's what I was breaking down. And I'm like, it's not a compliment. It's actually a diss.
Is a diss when you prefer another group over your own?
No, it's a diss when you combine those combination of words.
So if Ramon says, for example, right, this is hypothetical. If Ramon says, I'm going to date Chinese women and I prefer them over Puerto Rican because Puerto Rican women are ghetto and cafres. Is he saying?
If I were to date a Chinese woman, I would just say that. I met a nice Chinese woman.
That would be hateful. That would be hateful. That would be hateful.
That is not hateful because Ramon grew up in Carolina, and if you have been to Carolina, then you know. If you've never been to Carolina, then you don't know. If he says, "I don't like Puerto Rican women because they're loud, ghetto, and crazy," I have to take his preference because he comes from Carolina.
That's great, but that would be hateful though.
That's not hate. He's not hating. That's what he was exposed to. How is that hate?
Because you're putting a whole demographic of women in that category. That's what I'm saying. That's hateful.
What? I'm pretty sure she didn't mean all. It's just what she can qualify or what she could encounter in.
She said it in general terms. That means most of us.
That means most of us.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not every single. Yeah, but that means the majority. That means the majority, the vast majority.
That means it's open for interpretation. She didn't say all, which is the key word. If we're dissecting what she said, she didn't say all.
Wait. So when I broke it down, it couldn't be left into interpretation. I had to be like crucified. Goddamn.
No, that's not the same because you're coming for a specific demographic. My issue with what you say is that it came off a little bit on the racist side because it's like if a black or a white woman comes to the Latin community, then it's because she's attracted to the strength of the Latinos. But if a Latina goes to somewhere else, it's because she's renouncing strength and going to weakness. That's what came off as racist a little bit. You're dancing on that line of racism.
Oh well, sorry that I came off like that. I didn't mean it for it to come out like that.
No, all men are the same. At the end of the day, men are men, women are women. We just have to look for, what suits and kind of similarities that we have in common in values, culture, and whatever it is that we value, and then we go for it. That's the only reason why I said this. I think you drank some expired marijuana or whatever because it was not. It was you were dissing Latinas, in other words, because if you branch out, then I'm gonna diss you. That was a slow techno.
Okay, then my apologies that you took it like that.
No, you don't have to apologize, but that's all I'm saying. Like it was look at airtime 101. It was a little bit on the crazy side. So I was like, I think is I don't know, you're out of touch, but I think this topic needs to be talked about actual multicultural and interracial people, interracial couples, because it's very easy to drift away. There's a lot of misconceptions out there, and it gets crazy because it gets people riled up and I can understand why, right? We can talk about that because it must feel like a rejection. But it's not a rejection. It's simply you couldn't find what you needed to find in your vicinity.
No, let me ask you something, Denise. Let's be very, very honest. Somebody like that, 37 years old with 2 kids, you think she's gonna even find a black man that's gonna even look her way?
Latino man, yeah.
Of course not.
I don't think she's gonna find nobody. She's just not
she's
gonna
gonna
find
die
nobody.
alone. She's gonna die alone. That's a fact.
Well, maybe some cleanup man, maybe.
No, she's not. If that was the case, she wouldn't be on Kendra G's show. I'm just telling you that. Because if you watch that show on a consistent basis, you're gonna see that majority of the people that get there is people that really cannot get no one in real life. And there's no way in hell that now that we're at the boom of Latinas being like the hot commodity and black men having a surplus and husband, there's no way you cannot find that if you're of substance. I'm sorry. She's just a social reject, in my opinion.
Well, there are many women that.
Wait, what about the part where I said that Latinas and Latinos are gonna run the relationship? Let's talk about that part.
I don't know why you talk about that part because I know you get hit with a cuchara to do dishes every day. So
well, that's different. That's different. I don't count though. I don't count.
You get hit with the chancla or something. We're going to misa, cabrón.
Sometimes it's a clothes hanger. When I'm really bad.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah. She comes at you with a mira coñazo.
But
Guapa.
Denise, you know something?
Yes.
You inspired me to talk about this on my platform because I.
You should. It's a very.
I will, and I would love for you to be there to call so we can share some interesting information about it.
Yeah, I'll be there. But guys, I'm gonna start wrapping this up. So I'm gonna give everybody 1 minute. Don't overdo the minute. 1 minute. Rad, thank you for being here. Like I said, you're still my friend. I love you. You're my brother. I love your platform. I'll still support it. You just drank some expired coquito, and we're gonna put it out that way. I'm gonna start with Jose, Don Armando, Rad, and Ramon. So, Jose, your 1 minute closing statement.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you very much for allowing me to be on your platform. And again, you've been sorely missed. When everything is said and done, there was an interesting points that were made. However, there were points that got lost with the whole thing. Okay, and we have to be a little bit more careful when we make statements because there's usually more that's underneath the surface. That's why it's very important, to be mindful of what you say. And of course, I'm going to plug my channel a little bit. So tomorrow on my channel, I'm going to be talking about the Battle of the Bulge, which is the ever living long life struggle to lose weight. So I'm going to be sharing my thoughts about it tomorrow night at 8:15 p.m. on Uncommon Sense with saying it wrong. Thank you very much, Denise. Thank you very much, guys. And until the next time.
All righty. I'm gonna put you in the background now. Don Armando, your final statement. 1 minute.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on your channel and on your panel. I mean, and we miss you. So there was a lot of things that happened, but thank you, Denise. So you could put me in the back panel too.
No problem. Thank you so much, Don Armando. Now, Ramon, and then I'll let Radical go. Ramon, your closing statement.
Chica, appreciate you letting me be on your panel. It was an interesting thing, a good exchange. And when it comes to the subject, yeah, it is complicated, and I wasn't making excuses because a lot of those things are happening. It's just that I had a disagreement in with the framing, but I appreciate you letting me be on your panel. So you are gonna be doing a backstage. You are gonna be.
No, I'm gonna head out, but you can stay because I'm gonna leave it open and it will stay open as long as you guys stay here.
Okay,
But
okay.
I'll probably be like 5 minutes backstage,
All right. In that case, well, that will be it. I appreciate you letting me be on your panel. It's good to see you back, and I look forward to the next one. Shout out to the chat. And Rat.
Thank you so much, Ramon, for participating. And trust me, I miss you guys as well. Now, Radical, spread, destila tu odio final, and go ahead and do your closing statement.
You see, guys, this is what you gotta do to bring the beast back. Now I could just delete that video. No, let me stop. First of all, Denise, how dare you? No, no. No, simply, I already knew that I was gonna get some backlash for this, and also people would take it a different way and misinterpret it. I already knew that. I was prepared for that. But again, if you want to understand what I said, just come to me. Let hey, what do you mean by this? You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, Jesus, I didn't know that this was gonna be such a hot issue. But outside of that, it wasn't something to diss anybody at all. It was just something that I saw and how I interpret it. It could be wrong. Maybe I need to see it a little bit better, but that's how I
interpret. Did you join the snow taps?
No, I didn't join the soul. No, I didn't join the soul. They keep on sending me membership cards. I keep on denying them. But yeah, but thank you for having me, and again, no people who watch this, there's no hard feelings. It is what people could voice their opinion. It is what it is.
Absolutely. That's why I said I don't have any animosity towards you because we don't do personal attacks, and it wasn't your fault. It was the Sparkle people. I already said it.
Yeah. No, but yeah, no doubt. Thank you for voicing your opinion on it, and now I understand some of the hate comments. But but thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you, Rad. If you want to stay backstage, guys, I want to close with this. Yeah, I agree with Ramon and Rad on that. That lady, I think she won it will be a miracle if unless she finds her equal, like somebody that it's like her, has 2 baby mamas, and it's a little older and sees her as a prize. Yeah, by all means, I think that's the only way. But I think she personally has some issues. That does not negate that what she mentioned was true regarding the shortage of prospect good husbands for Latinas, man. We're too many women out here, and if I am a good Latina, I will tell you, go wherever you can find a husband. I don't know if that's Asia, if that's the Middle East, if that's Eastern Europe or America. I found mine in American. You find yours whatever. If your own don't work, find yours wherever you can. With that being said, guys, I also miss you guys too. It's been a pleasure. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram. Right now, I'm on Instagram jail because you guys know that I always say stuff that people don't like, and that is okay. So I'll be back to that. And I will probably drop a link to my alternate Instagram tomorrow on my story. So look out for that. It's called Latina Uncensored. It is a private page because, of course, we don't know who's the narc. So it's going to be private. If you want to get in touch with me and I will touch more on stories and stuff, make sure that you look at my stories tomorrow. I will put the link there so you can friend request me on Instagram. So guys, thank you very much for watching this show. It has been a pleasure. I'm not completely back, but I will do soft shows here and there because we're, like I said, we're in election year, and there's some topics about our community and stuff that's brewing in the background that I want to touch on. And this weekend, I'm going to do a show. I think it will be Friday. I will make a show regarding what's happening with the Latin migration and what are the sinister plans that the U.S. government has for our people. If you want to know more about that, you want to tune in this weekend, this Friday. So with that being said, guys, like I said, it has been a pleasure. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.